Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of towering mountains, there lived a humble stonecutter. Every day, he worked from sunrise to sunset, chipping away at rocks under the watchful gaze of the sun. Though his hands were rough and his back ached from toil, he shaped stones with remarkable skill, carving out pieces for homes and temples. But as the days passed, a quiet longing grew in his heart. He saw the wealthy men passing by, adorned in fine clothes, and wished his own life could be different. One sweltering afternoon, as the stonecutter wiped sweat from his brow, a wealthy merchant rode past in a grand carriage. The merchant's clothes shimmered with gold thread, and his face glowed with contentment. The stonecutter gazed at him and thought, "How fortunate he is! If only I could be rich, then I would no longer suffer under the sun's relentless heat." To his astonishment, a strange magic stirred in the air. In that very moment, the stonecutter felt a change. He was no longer a poor laborer, but a wealthy merchant himself, surrounded by treasures and servants. For a while he rejoiced in his newfound fortune, but soon he noticed the king passing by, even more powerful and revered. The people bowed low, and everyone obeyed the king's every word. The stonecutter envied the king's authority. To be king, he mused, is to command respect and wield true power. Once again, the mysterious force granted his wish. Suddenly, he wore royal robes and sat atop a majestic throne. People bowed to him, and his word was law. Yet, as the days passed, he felt the scorching sun beating down upon his palace. No matter how mighty he was, the sun's heat spared no one. He looked up at the blazing sun and thought, "The sun is mightier than any king. If only I could be the sun, then I would be the most powerful of all." Instantly, he found himself shining brightly in the sky, casting light and warmth over the land. He watched as people shielded their eyes from his brilliance, and crops grew under his rays. But soon, a thick cloud drifted in, blocking his light, casting a shadow over the earth. The stonecutter, now the sun, realized that the cloud could halt his power. "If I could be the cloud," he wished, "I could cover the sun and bring rain to the world." And so, he became the cloud, drifting across the sky, pouring rain on fields and villages. He blocked out the sun and felt invincible, until he reached the mountains. No matter how hard he rained, the mountains stood unmoved, unyielding to his efforts. A new desire blossomed. If only I could be the mountain, strong and immovable, then I would truly be the greatest of all. At once, he became the mountain, tall, steadfast, and enduring. Nothing seemed mightier. But as he stood silent and proud, he felt a strange sensation. At his base, a familiar figure chipped away at his stone. Another stonecutter, just as he had once been. The stonecutter realized that, despite all his wishes, it was the humble stonecutter who could shape even the mightiest mountain. In that moment, understanding dawned. He saw the value of his own life, his own hands, and the unique gifts he possessed. He wished to be himself once more, content and proud. From then on, the stonecutter worked with joy in his heart, no longer yearning for another life. He had learned that true happiness comes not from wishing to be someone else, but from embracing and taking pride in who you already are. So, be content and proud of who you are. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this L&E channel for more fun and inspiring videos.